My father had just passed away at the end of my 8th grade, and in doing so, when he passed, it was just like a really, really, tough time in my life. He was my best friend. He was my mentor. He was like my role model. I'm the only son, so after that, things really, went downhill. I was growing up in a tough neighborhood, on the east side of Cleveland. There was a lot of peer pressure, a lot of temptation. I was still trying to figure myself out. My mom struggles a lot with the language. She didn't drive, so I remember grocery shopping on foot or on the bus, and rain, sleet, or snow, and you know sadly, back in those days, our role models were, like the, negative role models, but that was the only type of role models that were around. So, I,
Like, like who?
like, gang members, or people who sold drugs, and back then we thought that was cool. We thought that was a thing to do. There weren't too many PhDs or any college graduates, for that matter, in my circle at all. So it was, like I said, when you're young and ignorant, and not have a lot of direction, it's tough.
How long were you out before you decided you needed to get your high school diploma?
Um, I got my high school diploma like maybe a few years later. I got my GED, but unfortunately, it didn't open up enough doors. I needed to go further, and at the time, like with the temptation and everything else that was going on, I decided that I can take some other routes, some shortcuts, and I got involved with the wrong crowd. I made a lot of poor choices, and it really ruined my life for what I thought would have been forever. People were telling me, "Hey, why don't you go to school?" So I thought it was too late. I thought I was too old. I went over, to try see, got enrolled. Wanted to drop out a handful of times my first semester, and luckily there were a lot of people that were pushing for me. That was one of the biggest things that I can tell you how I changed my life. It was a lot of times where I tried hard and I wanted something, but I didn't have the support system. So this was the biggest difference. Now I had a support system, and when you have a supporting cast, it's a lot easier. So one of my biggest challenges was that every single course that I took in college was new material to me. So at the beginning of every semester, I'm feeling like the biggest moron, and it's like I have to study 10 times harder than any of the other students, because they've at least been introduced to material in high school and everything. So it was tough, and it continues to be tough. But now, I know I'm confident. I know that as long as you try hard, that you can make it.